The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Suavemente. Sky's the limit, baby.
Boxingvoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
You don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
Boxingvoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing boys.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition right here on the Boxingvoice.com. Hashtag TBV podcast, wherever hashtags are used. Me and Mike are back with another one. We had to combine two subjects in one since boxing is getting a little bit scarce here in terms of headlines. Just a couple of things to report on, so we're going to stick with the heavyweight division. And Joseph Parker and Dereck Chisora seem to be in negotiations for a fight. We'll give you the details as to what is the hiccup that's slowing that particular matchup down. And since we're going to be discussing a matchup that slowed down, we have to discuss a matchup that was postponed, rescheduled, and now seeking an opponent. That opponent was said to be Carlos Takam for Oleksandr Usyk. It is no longer Takam. There's a few other names in the runnings. We'll give you the details. We're going to go out to Mike in Indiana. Before we do that, you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Now, don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. So we will be discussing both the possibility of Joseph Parker versus Dereck Chisora, which is some interesting details there, and Usyk and his most recent named opponent, or the possibility of that, Tyrone Spong. So let's get on out to Mike in Indiana. What's going on, Mike? Good morning.
WADA production.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it.
Boxingvoice.com.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak. Oh my mic, he stayed out before he said he would not stop.
A man stand up for what he believes in, and when you stand up for what you believe in, you accept whatever consequences come behind it.
Boxingvoice.com.
Yo, good morning, everybody out there in the TBV universe. Back with another one. Yes, I think the Usyk news should be coming out today or tomorrow about his opponent, and the fight's going to be in Chicago. But as far as Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker, my guy, I think they're going to put that fight on the WBSS final card. I think Eddie Hearn said he's been trying to work with them and get that fight on that card because he thinks Josh Taylor and Regis Progress is such a good fight. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Dave Higgins and the Parker camp want certain things to put in place before they commit to the offer that they receive. So we'll be talking about that, breaking that down and getting into it. What's going on, Ness?
Yo, so I think that he wants, Parker Chisora on the World Boxing Super Series so that he can sell a pay-per-view in the UK. But that's just one thought.
Absolutely.
Secondly, in terms of Parker, I get him. I get him and his team. That's right. Ask for testing. Ask for, even though they're asking for WADA instead of VADA, but get that testing because Dereck Chisora has been looking really good. You know what I mean? For his Dillian White fight, he looked amazing. So why not make sure that he is clean? Nothing wrong with that. Not at this level, man. You can't put it past nobody the way people are testing positive these days. So I don't mind that, and I hope that that's not an issue, especially when they're only asking for WADA. I've never heard that WADA is as expensive as VADA, so, maybe we should be able to get that. The funny and interesting part about this is Dereck Chisora is the A side. So for all you guys that always talk shit, He's the A side, bro. Mike especially is one of those guys like, who's he beat? What's his biggest win? Dereck Chisora, come on. He's the A side. It's even in the article. Yeah, it's even in the article. It's even in the article. I even put it in the footnotes. I'll read the part to you. It says, Parker has been calling for a fight with Chisora for a while. In order to make the contest happen, Parker had to agree to be the B side of the promotion. Damn.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. All right, no problem. That's not. I thought he meant he's A side based on what he did. No, he just held out to be the B side because he know that shit. He got a good chance of losing. You know what I'm saying? So he want the A side treatment. I can't blame Dereck Chisora for like wanting that. And big ups to Parker for shit.
Yeah, but that's not how A side is given out. Like,
can I finish my statement? You didn't notice how I was going. I appreciate Joseph Parker for being man enough to like, fuck it, bro. I'll be the B side and I'll beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's no problem at all. So yeah, man, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not how A side, B side is determined because like one guy wants it, so you just give it to him. You know, it comes with merits and accolades, right? Like what you've done, especially what have you done for me lately. And lately, you know, Chisora has, I believe, I don't got BoxRec open, but I believe he's got the Takam win, and he's got the Spielka knockout. 2 knockouts in the same year, I believe. Or am I wrong about that? Was that first one in this year as well?
No, you're definitely wrong. He got the Takam knockout last year. Then he got knocked out by Dylan White. Then he got the Spielka knockout because Spielka always get knocked out. He got knocked out by Kownacki right before he got knocked out by Dereck Chisora. So if y'all want to hold those
Spielka don't always get knocked out.
Can't even talk. Okay, cool.
Spielka don't always get knocked out. Remember, he I don't think he got knocked out by Jennings, did he?
Did he even fight Jennings, bro?
Yeah.
I'm talking about lately. After he fought Kownacki, got knocked out by Kownacki. Very next fight, got knocked out by Dereck Chisora. So if they want to hold their head on that.
He also got knocked out by Jennings, so you're right. He always get knocked out. Damn, all his losses are by knockout. Poor Spielka. So, he's coming off the Spielka win. Still a bigger name than, what was it, Alex Leopius, who Joseph faced off coming off a loss, I believe. Got to check who's Joseph's last fight. But what's your thoughts on Tyrone Spong while I pull up Joseph's resume? Tyrone Spong is being reported that his name is in the running and an announcement will be made by the end of the week. So the possibility of a very unknown Tyrone Spong getting a shot at Oleksandr Usyk, which puts him in a position, or the winner in a position to face the winner of Joshua versus Ruiz 2 in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, so what now? You said something about Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Say that again.
I'm just tying it all in. If Tyrone beats Usyk, he's gets the winner of Joshua Ruiz that's taking place in Saudi Arabia.
And like there was man, come on, man. Tyrone Spong, I never heard the guy in my life. He has 13 fights, 12 knockouts. Usyk is just good opponent for him. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that we don't know. Maybe Tyrone Spong has something like a fan base in Chicago or something, but I don't know why you would pick Tyrone Spong. I thought you guys was close to working with a deal with Takium, so Tyrone Spong, I go from knowing somebody to not knowing somebody. So if I had my choice, I would pick Takium because I thought that was a fight that Takium was still going to get by even signing that new deal. But Tyrone Spong, yeah, man, 13 fights, 12 knockouts.
So after the Takam pullout, it was rumored Andrey Fedosov, most known for, knocking out, what's his name? The guy that sparred Joshua and Wilder, Jamaican dude. Lenroy Thomas.
Yeah,
He
Thomas.
knocked out Lenroy Thomas in the Buxino tournament when Lenroy was being trained by Keith Thurman's trainer, Dan Birmingham. And, yeah.
He did what?
Andrey Fedosov, who was the
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to give you backstory on him. So that was the last name reported. And then Usyk came out and said, no, I don't want to fight another Russian because the media's going to, rip us apart or whatever he's trying to say. So now the new name is Tyrone Spong. For a dude that's supposed to be a mandatory to the heavyweight champ of the world and, supposedly cruiserweight, undisputed, this is worse than Ottawa Wildin'. I only know Tyrone Spong because I know and been down to the training camp of Guillermo Rigondeaux and other Cubans. So I'm familiar with that Miami, Hialeah area. I'm familiar with Pedro Diaz, who is the trainer of the Croatian heavyweight Filip Hrgovic and Tyrone Spong. And I know that Tyrone gets a lot of sparring with Luis Ortiz, with Philip, and other heavyweights down there in the heavyweight factory. I've been following him for a while. He was a kickboxer like Big Baby. He's, I believe he was a champ in that too, but that's not my forte, so correct me if I'm wrong. But he does come out of nowhere to get this shot. So if it's not worse than Ottawa Wildin', it's on that level. But Oleksandr Usyk isn't on Fury's level, is he? Would you consider him on Fury's level because he was undisputed at cruiserweight moving up? Or does he still have something to prove? And if so, well, then this isn't a bad opponent for your first fight at heavyweight moving up, us knowing that you were a cruiserweight. Like, do you have to get a name fighter? Or does that mandatory status that's out there, make us fight fans want you to have a tougher name on the docket?
Yeah, man, I feel like that no matter what Usyk is doing right now, that he deserves to fight anybody that he wants to. He deserves to fight anybody coming in the heavyweight division right now because he hasn't fought in the heavyweight division at all. So that he can fight this guy. I have no problem with that. His first fight at heavyweight coming up from cruiserweight. I was shocked when they was talking about attacking because I just thought that was a tough name to come in and fight right away, right off the bat. So yeah, man, I give him a pass because his first fight at heavyweight. I'm sure we all know that after he fight this fight and after AJ and Ruiz fight, he'll be next in line. So he's gonna have a tough fight sooner rather than later. So I just think that I don't have a problem with Tyrone Spong, even though I never heard of him. It's a showcase fight for Usyk, going to be in Chicago. He's going to look good. He's going to get a big knockout. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, what could you do? His debut has been postponed for so long that at this point, I kind of want him to just get in the ring. So, because he's losing months, he's losing months. And remember, these Ukrainians, they came with a lot of amateur fights. So it's not like he's a spring chicken. He's definitely has to get his career moving along. But, yeah, according to the report, sources tell The Athletic that Tyrone Spong is on the short list of heavyweights being considered for Oleksandr Usyk's debut in October 12th in Chicago. Now, Bryant Jennings has also been considered. As reported, Andrey Fedosov was offered the fight but is no longer an option. Expect an announcement as soon as Friday. So, Mike, what do you think about Bryant Jennings? If, in my opinion, Usyk selects Jennings, he really boosts the profile of Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce has less fights, less accomplishments, and had a good fight with Jennings. So he's really putting all eyeballs on him now with this type of a name.
If he goes out there and gets Joe Joyce, he got a big pair of nuts. You know what I'm saying? He is going in there with somebody who's...
No, not Joe Joyce, Bryant Jennings.
I mean, yeah, I'm talking about, sorry, Bryant Jennings. He still has a big pair of nuts, you know what I'm saying? We've seen Bryant Jennings have a tough fight with Joe Joyce, you know what I'm saying? Some things that we've seen from Joe Joyce that he needs to work on. That power is not, you know, I don't see the power from Joe Joyce right now, but if Usyk wants to go out there and do better, like let's say knock out Bryant Jennings, then that's kind of an indictment on Joe Joyce, because you got to remember Usyk and Joe Joyce also fight in the World Boxing World Boxing Series, or what the fuck it was called, WSB, and Usyk was able to beat Joe Joyce, and I think Usyk, that might be a name that he really, really wants, you know what I'm saying, so he can prove, like, hey, Joyce, I'm still better than you, you know what I'm saying, no matter where you go, or what you do, you still ain't going to outshine me. And if that's the case, I would love to see that fight, even more so than Tyrone Spong.
Now, the only issue I have with that, I think that I would rather take the undefeated Tyrone Spong that at least I know has pedigree sparring and trainer than Jennings, coming off of 2 losses back-to-back, 1 being a knockout to Rivas, has a total of 4 losses, and every time he stepped it up, he lost, Like, his biggest wins are Andrey Fedosov, who was being considered for this fight, Arthur Spielka, who was knocked out by Dereck Chisora, and we're speaking of Mike Perez, who was a former heavyweight, going down cruiserweight. We don't know what's going to happen to him. And
lost
Aleksandr
in the World Boxing Super Series, who Usyk beat.
Aleksandr Dimitrenko is another secondary win for Jennings. So as you can see, those wins are those B-, whatever you want to categorize them, but they're not the Vladimir Klitschko's or the Luis Ortiz or the Oscar Rivas or the Joe Joyces that he's lost to.
Yeah, but I think if people were watching that Oscar Rivas fight, he was clearly winning that fight until the 12th round where he just got tired. And if we was watching that Joe Joyce fight, he had some great moments in that Joe Joyce fight. He just wasn't that active, and Joe Joyce, in my opinion, won that fight off his activity. So I wouldn't say Bryant Jennings is a bad name or a name that shouldn't deserve credence. You know what I'm saying? Even though those 2 losses he's coming off of back-to-back, if you really watch the fights, you know what I'm saying, then you'll understand that those losses is not, you know what I'm saying, as bad as one may seem.
If I'm James Prince, I don't think I put him in there with Usyk right now. What could the payday for an Usyk be? And is this Bryant Jennings' last shot at the top? Because we have to consider before we reject this fight as Jennings or Teams Jennings, that if he can pull the upset, which it would be an upset to beat Oleksandr Usyk, the former undisputed cruiserweight, but if he can pull it, again, that mandatory status to whoever has 4 belts in the division becomes his. And now all of a sudden, Bryant Jennings has another shot, not only at a heavyweight title, but a bunch of straps. And he's in a big position. He can, and I mean, step aside money would be huge,
Oh yeah.
Step aside money would be. He don't even got to take the fight. He could get millions off a step aside. So I'm just telling. Think about it like this: Anthony Yarde was offered $1 million step aside for 1 belt. What would, if Ruiz won? What would Heyman offer? For a Wilder undisputed. If Joshua won, what would they offer just to face Pulev because the IBF is down their neck? So there's a lot riding on this position. And I don't know that Bryant Jennings, after 24 rounds boxed and 2 tough fights, is going to have enough without any sort of tune-up in between for Oleksandr Usyk. But again, all the cards are stacked on his side. if you're him, you're like, I'm a heavyweight. I've been here. I know I'm small, but at least I've been here. This guy's got to move up. You know, he's a boxer. I'm going to have to bring the fight to him. All that. You can psych yourself up and take this opportunity as a mandatory status and strip that shit from Usyk and change your life. Change your life. But you're with James Prince, man. You can also pump the brakes and not have to take this opportunity.
If you're Bryant Jennings, then I believe you absolutely take this opportunity. What's the fastest way to get back to the top? It's taking out a guy who has a mandatory position. And also, man, like, let's be real. Bryant Jennings, you know what I'm saying? I love you. You know what I'm saying? Great bars on your IG page, but you're at the end of your rope. You know what I'm saying? You're older. You've been around since the Klitschko days. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta do something to get your name back popping. And a win over Usyk, and I'm sure if Eddie Hearn offer you some money to fight Usyk, hopefully he pay you pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And you're part of that WBO branch, which is over there on Top Rank. So if you were to win, then I believe that the WBO will respect what's going on with that certain sanction body thing. Go ahead.
Message. Speaking of WBO sanction body, the one that's highly ranked in the WBO heavyweight division is Tyrone Spong at number 4.
Oh, wow. I didn't know Tyrone Spong. Is it Sponge or Spong?
It's definitely Sponge without the E, right? Like it's Spong.
Spong.
I guess.
Yeah, what big ups to him? I guess so.
Yeah, he definitely. See, these rankings ain't updated, but the article says he's number 4. This one, mine say he's number 5. So Ben, get on your job.
Who sent you that? Did goddamn me Dimitri
The article states that he's number 4. He's also got a couple of regional straps. He's got like a WBC. Let me read the article for you. I'll pull it up. Let me yeah, so you give me any more of your thoughts while I pull up that article for you and get you, because he's got a couple of WBC straps and a WBO strap, but they're obviously
those secondary belts, like a
regional titles.
A continental, you know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Yeah. He's like a Latino, but I don't think he's Latin either. Like I got to look him up
like
exactly. Let me just look him up.
USA too.
Huh?
His last fight was in the States.
He just flew into Mexico, so I really think he's going to get it because he just landed in Mexico. They about to take that tune-up real quick, and they going out there, bro. They going out there. Like, he had a hand injury. He's got power, bro. He's got power. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He flew into Mexico to get that rust off. He got a date, man. I'm telling you, he just landed. The article is fresh off the fucking mill, you know what I mean? And they like, yo, him and Pedro Diaz landed. They in Mexico. They about to get this dust off. And he's in the running. So, see, he's from the Netherlands. He's from the Netherlands. Only reason, I'm going to be honest with you, the only reason I know this dude is because people always sent me him saying we look alike. So, we do, though.
First thing I thought when I seen that motherfucker.
We do. So, I'm showing his box rec here. We do. I wish I had his body, motherfucker, built in the motherfucker.
Nah, bro, come on. That's where you at right now, bro. You in Mexico? Come on, man. Quit that bullshit, bro.
I wish it was me in the motherfucking position for the WBO mandatory if I could beat Usyk. That motherfucker about to change his life.
This nigga look like you, nigga, about 30 more pounds on his ass, bro.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, I'm taller than him, but he got the body, man. We could change body. He could be my stunt double. I guess I got to be his because he's more popular, right? But fuck. Whatever, man. Tyrone Spong, 13-0, 12 KOs. I never really, like, all these names are secondary, you know? All these names are secondary.
That's crazy how much alike y'all look like, bro. God damn.
All these names are secondary. He ain't been on his level. Look at this. Look at all these dudes. I'm telling you, I keep telling Doomy, let me turn him heavyweight. Look at who Tyrone Spong fought. Lucas Queen, 1-4-0. Then his next fight was Tracy Johnson, 4-2-4. The next one was Hugo Leon, 3-0. Look at the next one, 0-14. Doomy. The next one was 0-15. Doomy, let's do it. Yo, you stay undefeated long enough, you get an Ottawa Wallen, you get a Jermaine Franklin, you get a Tyrone Spong. Andrey Fedosov, we haven't heard of him in forever, and because people need opponents, boom, we starting to hear Fedosov's name all over again. So, yeah, man, look, opportunities are out there. These fighters got to take them. I'll be honest. I'm going to repeat it before we go out to the callers. You know the number, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time to voice your opinion. I still would prefer Sponge rather than Jennings off of 2 losses and 24 rounds, tough box. Nah. Let me get something else. But in terms of Parker, I would definitely want Parker to get whatever drug testing protocol he wants to have in place. I want him to get that. But what we didn't say is that he also only accepted the offer on the terms and conditions that, A, they receive WADA drug testing protocol for this fight now and throughout until after the fight, and also that they're the co-main event.
I know you said he ain't the A side, but shit, if he's holding out for a drug
Bruh,
test,
turn up or talking to the mic, one of the two, champ.
I know you said that he wasn't. I'm right in front of the mic. I know you said he wasn't the A side, but it seems like he's holding out like some A side shit would do. But
because remember, like Ruiz, he just again, I didn't pull up the article, but they signed. They just sent over 2 conditions. So they signed the contract. They signed the terms. They just said, look, amend this and we good. Like, get this WADA in place and make sure we the co-main. We ain't trying to be nothing less than the co-main.
Which is good.
Now, what is this supposed to land on? You're saying this is Josh Taylor?
Yeah, Josh Taylor and Richard Poger. Like Ames was talking about, he was like he felt like kind of bad because if they add this fight to that card, then the ticket price is gonna go way, way up. So yeah, man, I think even by adding this to that WBSS card, I mean it's gonna be turned into a great card. You know what I'm saying? It's Dereck Chisora and Parker. Then you got Regis and Josh Taylor, which is nice co-main like main event. So yeah, I'll be happy to watch it on the zone.
Yeah, man, me too, man. DAZN, you can't front, man. They're doing a good job. I mean, it's like they're boasting hundreds of fights a year, or 100 fights a year. So it does feel that way. But I mean, I just hope they don't give us any more of those Mexico cards that we got this past weekend. That was really worthless. Those are usually December cards, when promoters don't have dates, but they got fighters that they got to get those last fights off, that they owe on their contract to. And then you see December, it's like a fucking undercard's like 20 fights on it because, Heyman got to get rid of all those people that he owed fights to. And that's what that should have been. That shouldn't happen in August. But again, look at me being a typical fickle boxing fan, right? Because normally in August we don't get fights. So I should at least be happy that we got tune-ups. But yeah, man, let's go out to the callers. Any final thoughts for you?
Just that not this year, November, December, looking to be pretty stacked, you know what I'm saying, with boxing. So, I mean, sometimes you got to put on bad cards, you know what I'm saying. Like we have another one coming up this weekend, Ramon Alvarez and Aries London Lara. I'm not a big fan of that card, but I will be tuning in Saturday night. But it's not one that I'm going to be happy about watching, even though it's in Minnesota. I think, what's my guy's name? Jamal James is on that card. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
That's a bad card, man. They wilding with that for real. Man, I need to move some sound bites around, bruh. Gotta get my motherfucking Tundi on.
Lions in the camp?
Nah.
Master Genius?
Nah, the other one, man. One of my faves. But
right now on YouTube, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. If you want to go one step farther, head over to theboxingvoice.com/affiliate sponsors and click on that Amazon link. Bookmark that link, save that link, and do all your shopping through that link. It costs you nothing extra. Anything you buy is going to be the same price, but we do get a little kickback every time you use our hyperlink when you shop at Amazon. So please, when you think of Amazon and you're Boxing Voice listeners, use our link. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I said that, where the ace at? Where the ace at?
Yeah. Let's go out to the sponsors.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Going out to Seattle, Washington. Good morning.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Last time I checked, I was the man on these streets. They call me Residue, I leave blow on these beats. Got
I'ma treat him like he's a C+ fighter.
Shit on niggas, even when I'm constant.
I'm gonna have to say this, Ness. I don't appreciate you, choosing that fight. I mean, I think that Aleksandr Usyk should take something bigger if he's gonna get Anthony Joshua or, I forgot his name. The dude who says Anthony Joshua. I don't think that I think he should get a better fight than that before he gets something big like that. I think he should go after that, attack him. Isn't that the fight he took out? He took out of because he got hurt or something like that. I think he should go back and finish that. And Parker, he needs to bring that dog in him. He needs to bring that Simone in him. I'm tired of seeing the soft fights he does. He needs to show his country up. And that's my motherfucking call.
All right, champ. Thanks for calling in.
I said that. Where the ace at? Where the ace at?
Yo, so anybody that's on the line, remember you got to press one time to let us know that you want to speak. If not, you're just listening. And you can also add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation if you want to voice your opinion on the show. Eddie, you have not pressed 1, so we can't go to you. Let me go to any super chats we might have in the meantime. I want to thank everybody rocking out with us, man. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button as it helps with the visibility of the show. We got a super chat from Clippers Game. Has the Chicago fight date been announced? The rumored date is October 12th. Let me double check that on my notes here. Yes, October 12th in Chicago. And the runners-up are Tyrone Spong and Bryant Jennings also being considered. And that's what we're discussing, as well as Parker signing, but also saying, look, we want WADA drug testing protocol in place. Nothing wrong with that. Hopefully we can get an announcement on this earlier or later this week, like Mike Coppinger is reporting. But again, look, it's unfortunate for Usyk, right? Or rather for hardcore boxing fans, because for Usyk, he gets a title shot by beating Tyrone Spong or Bryant Jennings, Andrey Fedosov, even Carlos Takam. None of those names worthy of a eliminator for a unification mandatory, right? Because essentially, even though that's not what this is that. If he loses, whoever wins gets his mandatory position. So all he has to do is beat this fight, which could be said as an eliminator, to get that mandatory position to face the winner of Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. So some may believe that this particular fight for Oleksandr Usyk should be a bit tougher since it leads to so much in the division. I agree, but this is the way that the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. He's able to get in where he fits in due to his promoter and politics. I mean, I guess it's not really politics either, right? It's his achievements at cruiserweight got him this spot. So hopefully something comes from it. But, it is an unfortunate situation. I would have preferred to have a way tougher test for Usyk, especially since he gets a shot at 4 belts after he gets this win. Any final thoughts, Mike?
No, man. Tyrone Spong, whatever your name is, bro. Hopefully, comes in and give Usyk a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? Not an easy fight, But if he can't, hopefully they go with the Bryant Jennings route. I like that name a little bit better than Tyrone Spong. And as far as Joseph Parker and Dereck Chisora goes, WADA, man, let's sign them up. Let's get some clean fighters, and let's see how that fight plays out too. I'm happy for that fight though. I am a Parker fan.
Look who's here. What's that UFC dude's name?
Nurmagomedov, Khabib.
Yo, maybe you got to go like this. Look. Yeah, just hold.
Yo, Khabib Nurmagomedov, man. I've been getting that a lot, bro. My barber went on vacation. Yo, man, Tyrone Sponge, man. Who would have thought, bro? This guy's
that's what I'm telling you. Did you go through his resume? I'm telling you, we can make you a heavyweight and get you a shot, bro. He had 3 consecutive fights with dudes that never won a fight in their life. They had 0-14, 0-15. I mean, bro.
He's a declarated kickboxer. I mean, he's done his thing in kickboxing for sure. K1, all those high level competition, kickboxing competition. He's done very well. I mean, you know, it's always a curiosity, you know, to see how these men transition over from different sports, different combat sports into boxing, because, you know, it's a different game. It's a different game. But like you guys said, he's been he's been down there in Florida. He gets plenty of sparring. He's been about the boxing game for a little while now. He's been behind the scenes training. We were down there with Rigondeaux, I remember, and he's active. It's just it's just, to me, it's very surprising that they picked him as an opponent for Usyk. Usyk being so good and so declarated in his own right in boxing. I think it's going to be a very dangerous fight for Tyrone, but a great opportunity, right? It's sort of like a second chance at being great. He, like I said, he did his thing in kickboxing, but boxing is a different animal, man. Different animal. He's a strong guy. I mean, I've seen him get hit in kickboxing by hard shots. So he definitely has a chin. I mean, I've seen him get knocked down pretty ugly, and he got back up and knocked the other guy out. So he's tough as nails. So let's not go into this fight just totally writing him off.
You know what's funny? Why don't kickboxers get a little more credit when they make the transition into boxing, being as though that they're used to getting kicked in the head or with the shins across the face and still being able to get up or sometimes take it? People are saying I'm building this guy up because he's my bastard brother. They're calling me Nestor Sponge, and his name is Tyrone Gibbs now.
Kickboxing is only a 5-round fight, so it's not the traditional 12 rounds. Also, you can't use your feet anymore, so maybe they get a little points deducted because they can't kick and it's all hands now. So I don't really know much about Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? He can be a hell of a fight kickboxer, hell of a fight MMA fighter, but they ain't gonna help you in the ring versus Usyk when it's all about them hands. You know what I'm saying? Usyk boxed the shit out of Tony Bellew. And say what you want about Tony Bellew, he holds a win over Makabu, who has been on a motherfucking rampage his last 2 fights. Went over to Russia, beat a guy named Kurtisov.
It's funny you bring up Makabu. I know I'm cutting you off, but you're gonna love this. The irony in that is he beat up a kickboxer. That dude that he beat, Alex whatever, Pinpin,
yep.
He was a former kickboxer. So Papin was a former kickboxer. Sponge is a kickboxer. Big Baby's a kickboxer. And we've seen this before on a showbox level. I can't remember his name. He never amounted to nothing, but he was also a former kickboxer. I think he might be like Jesse Niccolo or something like that.
I mean, we've had a few successful kickboxers. We've had a few. I mean, Algieri being one of them.
Oh, that's right. And he turned champion as a fighter. That's right. Algieri's a kickboxer. Good call, Doomy.
Yeah. So these guys, you got to give them a little more credit than somebody coming out of MMA. Because the dynamics in MMA are just a few more things you got to worry about. Judo throws, arm bars, and all that stuff. Kickboxing is pretty much kicks and fists. But it does affect you. Especially if you haven't competed, it does affect you on your timing. It does.
Wait. Why do you say you got to give him more credit than an MMA guy? Why?
Because I mean, you got to give you got to give them more of a chance then see if we had an MMA guy transferring over to boxing. And remember, these are my opinions. If you got an MMA guy transferring over from MMA into boxing, there has to be a lot more adjustments that he's going to have to make. Remember, you got muscle memory that's been put into that body for years, geared towards a certain type of combat. So when you go ahead and you transfer over from kickboxing, you have you're accustomed to using just your kicks and your fists as to MMA fighter, grappling, and all the other stuff that you got to kind of shake off before you get into that boxing ring. So, in my opinion, yeah, kickboxers do have in my opinion, a better transition over to boxing.
I believe Dillian White was also a kickboxer or MMA kind of guy too, right?
Shit, you know what? Let's go on a roll then, Mike. Shit, we got Big Baby Miller was a kickboxer. We got a few guys that have transitioned over being kickboxers, and they're doing hella good. So
absolutely. Like a kickboxer can translate to MMA or can translate to boxing. So
Dillian White was a kickboxer. I forgot that one.
Yeah, Mike said that.
Oh, he did. I got away from it. I just said
we went on a rant. We went on a rant. Shit, Big Baby Miller was a kickboxer too.
No, I said that one though.
So we got a couple of guys.
Hey,
man.
Jeffrey Rodriguez in the super chat says 0-14, laughing my ass off. Mike, go pro. I'm telling you, listen, we got Mike the wheelchairs. We getting money off Mike. He gonna be a champ. Look, Doomy gonna train him. Mauricio already sponsored him with the chair. We gonna get Karen Silver to be his publicist. Gotti gonna walk him out. Shit gonna be litty, bro. We all gonna eat off Mike. Mike, stop smoking now, cause if motherfucking Sponge could get a shot, bruh. You heard Tundi in the corner too. Pro. You heard Tundi in the corner. That's just how I'm going to be. Mike, it's for our families. It's for our families, Mike. What, Mike? You got to get that win. Come on, Anthony.
Mike for that rematch,
that shit was amazing, bro. I wish YouTube didn't flag us so we could do how those, those movie reviewers do and actually put that fucking shit on the screen, listen to it, and react to it live, yo. I can't believe people hating on Tundi for that shit. I promise you I can't believe they hating him. Like, he gave the advice for their game plan. There was no plan B. That's it. If you want to get at him for that, but that shit was funny as hell. Anthony!
And niggas hating on Jesus, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah, niggas. I even got that sound bite because I know.
Hey, but one thing I got to share right quick sidebar. If you're not watching Snowfall on FX, you're doing yourself a fucking disservice.
The hell is that?
But ain't Snowfall about the political thing?
The crack epidemic back in the 1980s, man. It pretty much depicts, in my opinion, not factual, but depicts Highway Ricky Ross, you know what I'm saying, earlier years. Like, it's not about him, but it's kind of very, very similar to what, you know what I'm saying, was going on back then.
Snowfall. Shit, it makes sense.
I thought that was the other movie, the Snowed In or something like that. The one that was like a political movie. Man, I must have got rid of that Meek Mill soundbite. That's crazy.
We get says chameleonaire walking out Mike.
Nah. Because I already said, like, I'm part of his team, so, like, he gonna be the fighter. I'm gonna handle all that shit, so he won't even be able to get chameleonaire. No, thank you. That's gonna ruin our brand. That's gonna ruin our brand, man. We trying to raise Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, B. But yeah, man. I mean, Doomy. So you talked about Usyk. I mean, you ain't give us your thoughts. Parker, Chisora.
Shit, man. Parker and Chisora. I think Dereck Chisora has been on a good roll in my opinion. His grit. His grit is always there. His last couple fights, his grit's there. Parker, I'm just gonna say Parker's a little faster, man. Parker's a little faster, just a little stronger. But in the mental, I think Dereck Chisora is mentally stronger than Parker, and that's just my opinion.
But what do you mean by that? What do you mean mentally stronger?
I don't know. I feel like Dereck Chisora's ability to bounce back from a hard round is a lot better than Parker's. I've seen Parker get in trouble in some of the rounds, some of the fights that he's been in, and he kind of doesn't get that animal out, let loose. Kind of just falls back when he's having that heavy pressure applied. And when I see Dereck Chisora being applied with the same type of animal pressure, he kind of just fights back. He fights back and goes for the kill.
I cannot wait till Parker beat the shit out of fucking Dereck Chisora, man. You guys
don't count him out.
Chisora, man. We got the biggest win. Andrew Ruiz, where you at? Come get this rematch.
That shit don't mean nothing.
It don't?
Nah. Ruiz told you himself.
Ruiz don't mean nothing.
Ruiz told you himself. I trained myself.
Keith Thurman told you himself that he trained himself when he fought Josito Lopez.
That's not what he said. That's not. Don't take it out of context because people asked him that and he spoke about it deeper. That's not what he said. He said, "Yo, looking for this fight. This is a big fight. I got 2 strength and conditioning coaches. For that fight, we trained in the gym. We sparred. I'm not saying we didn't do that. What we did was our strength and conditioning in LA Fitness. Come on, dog. Like that's who he. I was down there when he said. I was live when it came out his mouth and it's recorded. It's recorded on plenty of cameras. You just obsessed with Keith Thurman. You obsessed with Keith Thurman. You can't stand the Keith Thurman accolades is where they at. That's where it's at.
To tell yourself that win didn't count, that I wasn't at my best. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that.
What are you talking about? That win didn't count.
I'm saying whatever you got to tell yourself to make yourself think that win don't count. Tell yourself that.
How it don't count? It absolutely counts. It's a win on his record. How won't it count? That don't even make sense.
I train with the Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, whatever you got to tell yourself to make you feel better about losing to Joseph Parker. Tell yourself that.
Now we talking about. I have no clue what's going on, but
I mean, and as far as Aleksandr Usyk, I mean, how do you prepare for a guy like that?
For
and yeah, how do you prepare for a guy like that? Who are you Who is Tyrone Spong bringing in to mimic this guy?
What you mean? He got the Croatian heavyweight, the red hot prospect, Flip Hardgrovic in camp with him. He got Luis Ortiz that he always spars with. They got sparring, bro.
Do you know what? I'll give you that with Luis Ortiz. He's a southpaw too, so I'll give you that.
No, but you don't even got to be a southpaw. Like if Usyk isn't, Ortiz got enough fights that he could like he can switch for you to help you in sparring because that's what sparring is, to help the guy that brought you in. So if we need you to fight as a southpaw, you do. Think about Mike Polite Coffee. When he helps Adam Kownacki, he helped him as a southpaw because he had a southpaw fight for Charles Martin.
Okay, let me get this right. You guys brought up Philip Hardgrovic and Luis Ortiz to try to help this guy to get ready for.
No,
Usyk.
I just mentioned 2 of the names that are accessible to him in that Miami area.
Hopefully they don't use those names. They probably won't give him a great look. You know what I'm saying? Good sparring though. You know what I'm saying? Good sparring, but Usyk gonna come out with a pace we seen against Tony Bellew.
That's just your lack of knowledge in the camp because fighters don't bring in one guy to make a whole fighter. You use 3 guys to make one. So Luis Ortiz doesn't have to have everything that Usyk brings to the table, just like Philip doesn't have to have everything or the 3rd or the 4th sparring partner. You use multiple guys to make up one.
And I'm all about giving guys shots, man. You know me, man. I'm usually with the underdog, even though I know sometimes the underdog don't got a chance. But I'm afraid that Sponge might gas out. He might gas out.
I mean, of course, he's not used to going 12 rounds, and if he is, he ain't used to going 12 at this level after skimming through that resume. But we got a caller on the line. We're going out to Colorado, Stonebone Boxing. Talk to me.
Yo, what up?
Good morning, champ.
Man, just having my my blood in my breakfast, man. Well, I guess my blood is my breakfast. But hey, how many boxing match? How many fights do he got? Pro boxing matches he got?
13 wins, 12 by knockout. But this is the thing, like if you don't pick Sponge, you're picking Bryant Jennings coming off of 2 losses, 1 being a knockout.
Right. Yeah, and to me, I would almost rather see Sponge so we can see kind of what we don't know. I just feel like Jennings would give him a good 6-8 rounds and then kind of maybe fall asleep and then he get the gas pushed on him and get. I don't think he was maybe stop him. Usyk maybe wouldn't stop him, but I think he would just after the 8th round it would just be basically a sparring session with Usyk showing his gold medal skills, and Jennings kind of just throwing his guard up and moving around the ring. But the only thing about the kickboxer guy is, it's like, does he have power? It's like, who are the guys he knocked out? Nobody. So I don't know,
yeah,
man.
nobody.
I would almost rather. I know Taco was gonna lose, but I would have rather see Taco. You know what I mean? Because you know what he's going to do. Taco was one of those gatekeeper heavyweights. You get him in there, and you can get your guy a chance to see what he was doing to AJ. And Usyk to me is a similar, like a one of those tall, straight up kind of guys. He's faster and has better footwork than AJ, but he doesn't have. I don't know. Him and AJ are very similar. When I look at Usyk and I look at AJ, I look at a white version of AJ, and when I see AJ, I see a black Klitschko. You know what I mean? Those guys that always going to have a problem with that.
I don't really see that similarity, but we got another caller, JT in Chicago. Good morning.
What up, though?
What's going on?
Yeah, last few callers just confused the hell out of me. I was just calling to say that, like, no matter who Usyk fighting, I'm going to the fight on the 12th. It is October 12th, and I'm like, I really wanted to go to the first one, man. I was pissed off when he had pulled out with injury, but I'm hoping that I don't know. I'm hoping that they put him in there with somebody good, because I don't want to just pay to see some bullshit. Y'all know I'm
Have you heard of Tyrone Spong?
Nah, I didn't. I'm gonna look him up though. I've been listening to the show. I'm pretty much guessing they're gonna go with Jennings though, because that's pretty much the only name. And like, you know, like Jennings faced Tyson Fury before, right? And Klitschko.
Yes, and Joe Joyce and Luis Ortiz.
Right. Right.
He had a hard fight though.
Joe Joyce though. So.
Joyce.
Right. He just recently lost to Joe Joyce. So that probably, like, I don't know. So they probably do have to go with old boy. What's his name again?
Tyrone Spong. People are saying Usyk should fight
Charles
Martin.
Right. Your twin.
Yeah.
Your twin. Oh my. Right, that's what I said. Like, I just tuned in like 30 minutes ago, but as soon as I did, bro, that do look like you, man.
Listen, if you look him up, he got some nice highlight reels, especially in the kickboxing game.
Right.
You know, with boxing, I mean, I don't know. He went split decision with this guy, Yitalo Pereira. This guy's 11-3-2, so just that kind of worries me a little bit, you know?
Doom.
It just worries me a little bit. This guy went split decision with Yitalo Pereira. This guy's record's 11-3-2. I don't even know who this guy is, and you know, it was a 10-round contest, and I don't even know this guy, 25-year-old guy. I just don't know him, and you know, for him to step up.
Everybody in the chat, not everybody, but like the people that do know Spong are commenting in the chat, and they think that he can knock out Usyk. They think he hits hard. Everybody's mentioning that. He hasn't, obviously, he's not been on this level, but we just seen that with Yard. JT, thanks for calling in. Don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. We just seen that with Yard, though, right? Like, not allegedly on this level, but then look good in spots, you know. I see people have given them 4 rounds in some scorecards. So, you know, I don't know, man. It just sucks for Usyk, bro. He was supposed to make a splash with his debut, and it's the prolonging, the postponing is just kind of drawing it out, not really making it as big of an event as it was supposed to be.
I mean, if you're going to make your debut as a heavyweight, correct? You're going to want to do it with an appropriate dancing partner, you know.
I mean, again, was Carlos Takam appropriate?
Yeah,
when you think about it. No, when you think about it like this, like Usyk fights Takam, he gets a title shot. You know, a unification shot. Usyk fights Bryant Jennings, he gets a unification. Usyk fights Tyrone, he gets Usyk fights Fedosov. So, like, it doesn't matter. He's already the mandatory. So none of these guys merit him getting a shot at 4 belts. So because
I guess public opinion is where I'm going with. You know, public opinion matters, as we know. What happened to AJ.
This dude is Tyrone's manager. He's pulling out all the Tyrone facts. He's like, Tyrone has over 120 fights. I guess those must be amateur. He keeps saying Tyrone has hella power. Tyrone Spong will KO Usyk. He definitely has power. I don't know. He's probably his manager and that.
I see. Abiola. Majekodonumi. Listen, we're not gonna doubt, and if you guys go on and you go ahead and YouTube Tyrone Spong, you're gonna see a lot of knockouts, a lot of grit, all that good stuff. But it's a different animal, and he's transitioning over, and he's fighting this guy who's a super decorated boxer. It's not like he's fighting a guy that also transitioned from another sport. This guy's lived, breathed boxing for years now. And he's an Olympian. It's just so much that's pointing against Tyrone Spong.
Someone said they watched the Alistair fight. Did he fight Alistair Overeem?
Oh yeah. Alistair Overeem was a hell of a kickboxer.
No, I know. He was one of the dudes.
Monster.
Mean, it sucks because it ended up that he was a juice head and shit. I used to think that dude looked like that naturally and shit.
Listen, all those guys were juicing, bro. A lot of these guys were juicing, man. You know, and you go back and these leagues that you go through, even Pride, you go as far as back as Pride. These guys, you know, it's different animal out there in China.
The guy,
Japan.
the manager said he has 120 pro kickboxing fights.
Yeah, that sounds right. Not amateur, pro.
Yeah.
Pro fights, but no, I just don't see it, man. Everybody has a puncher's chance. You can keep saying that all day, but reality
Tyrone
is
Spong as a boxer, good, but a great kickboxer. He snapped his leg in half in one of his fights, which, in my opinion, changed him. But the thing with kickboxers is they have power with hooks. So people know him. I didn't know him, man. I didn't know him. I mean, I knew him because people made me aware of him. Like, yo, Ness, this dude your family? I'm like, oh, shit. After that, I'm like, who is this dude? Then I'm like, oh, shit. And then when we went to, you know, obviously we met him and all that stuff. So it's like, okay. And it's been like 3 years now, I think, I've been on him. But in 3 years, he hasn't gotten anything significant. The most significant thing he's done in 3 years is like team up with Pedro Diaz, spar with big names. I mean, and that's good also, but, you know, you could be doing better. But, yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Nest GTO, Instagram and Twitter. Catch us on the next one. Peace.
Gross1911 on IG and Gross212 on Twitter. Catch y'all tonight at 7 o'clock. Peace out.
And Alex Doomsday Linus, Alex_Doomsday_Linus on IG. Catch me on Twitter, Alex Linus TBV. Catch y'all later, man.
Peace.